Color Guard Commander, advance the colors.
All right. And cut. Forward, march.
Miss Elizabeth Ann Smith will provide the invocation.
I invite you to pray in your tradition as I pray in mine. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we seek always to serve your will and to grow in knowledge and understanding, that we may be wiser and better able to help our fellow man. Grant us energy and enthusiasm for the challenges which lie ahead. Guide our thoughts and direct our actions as we move forward. Give to each of us focus and courage that we may be strong and decisive. With faith and trust in our Lord, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Vice Regent Carol Johnson will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance to the United States of America, and Megan Cornichione will sing the first stanza of our national anthem. Ms. Johnson and Ms. Cornichione.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, where so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Carol and Megan. Color Guard Commander, post the colors.
Posting national color. For their arms, post remaining colors. Right, right, forward, push.
Thank you, everyone. Please take your seats. Good morning. My name is Angela O'Connor. I am the Regent of the Governor William Paca chapter of the National Society Daughters of the American Revolution. The DAR is a women's service organization committed to promoting education, patriotism, and historic preservation. For over 100 years, our chapter has been engaged in fulfilling these ideals right here in Harford County. Currently, we donate classroom supplies to local elementary schools. We participate in stream cleanups along the Susquehanna River. We maintain a pollinator garden at the historic Hayes House. We walk in the Bel Air 4th of July parade. We support veterans at the Perry Point VA Medical Center throughout the year, and we honor those who served our country by placing wreaths on the graves of veterans on Wreaths Across America Day. Each year, we present several awards to students, educators, and community leaders. Today's group of awardees is just amazing. Thank you for joining us to celebrate their accomplishments. First, I'm going to start with a few introductions. I'd like to introduce to you all the officers of the Governor William Paca chapter. Ladies, if I could ask you to please stand and be recognized. Sandy, you're an officer. Great. Thank you very much. We are also fortunate to welcome visiting officials from the Maryland State Society, Daughters of the American Revolution. First, our State Vice Regent, Elizabeth Deering. Thank you. State Corresponding Secretary, Lita Besseresht, as well as a member of our own chapter. State Chair, American History Committee, Julia Nguyen. And Madam Vice Regent, if I could invite you to please bring greetings to our gathering today.
It's a great pleasure to be here today to celebrate all of you, the Governor William Paca National Society Daughters of the American Revolution Award winners. You are here today because you have demonstrated excellence as a volunteer, a student, or teacher in the areas of citizenship, education, historical preservation, patriotism, conservation, literacy, the arts, American history, and citizenship. The Daughters of the American Revolution takes great pride in recognizing your accomplishments and all of your hard work. Enjoy the day, and congratulations to all.
Thank you, Liz. I would also like to acknowledge our local elected officials here today. If I can ask you to stand and remain standing, and please hold your applause until we're all introduced. Manly Calhoun, representing Delegate Mary Ann Lasanti, District 34A. And Delegate Mary Ann Lasanti is also here. Thank you. Mr. Jacob Benson, representing our Harford County Executive, Barry Glassman. Representing County Councilman Curtis Beulah, Jean Beulah. Thank you. And is County Councilman Andre Johnson here today? No, we're not able to come. Thank you. Thank you for your support today. The Harford County delegation to the State Senate and House of Delegates, as well as the County Council, have all sent citations of congratulations to our honorees today, and these will be distributed at the end of our program. Now let's get started. I would like to invite Dr. Sandra Wallace, chapter historian, to come to the podium, and I'm going to invite our State Vice Regent Lisa Deering to please join us to help present awards.
Thank you, Angela. DAR's National Competition for Outstanding Teacher in American History, now in its 40th year, recognizes a notable full-time teacher in the fields of history, social studies, or government. The winner must have an incisive knowledge of his subject and readily share it with students, and also foster in the classroom a spirit of patriotism and support for our country and its constitutional government. Finally, the teacher must demonstrate ability to relate history to modern events maintain high academic standards, and require excellence from students, but still enjoy an engaged rapport. Pretty heavy job. This year's Outstanding Teacher of American History is James May of Paterson Middle High School. Jim, will you please join us up here? As he comes up here, I'd like to encourage his friends, family and friends to stand and be acknowledged. Mr. May has served at both the middle and high school levels, and during the past 13 years has taught United States history, as well as advanced placement course in U.S. history, psychology, and human geography, and been advisor to the Future Educators of America Club. While Mr. May is an excellent teacher of history, what makes him truly exceptional is his commitment to teaching as a profession, which he demonstrates in several ways. First, he nurtures high school students interested in pursuing teaching careers. In an innovative partnership between his school and Towson University's Teacher Academy of Maryland program, he taught 2 courses, Teaching as a Profession and Foundations of Curriculum and Instruction, to high school students. Second, Mr. May serves as a mentor for both pre-service and experienced teachers, participating in staff development programs that improve teaching skills and make the profession better. Perhaps his most innovative effort is with the Teaching American History program through the Center of History Education at UMBC, where he worked with teachers across the state to incorporate primary source materials into history lessons. It has been a great pleasure to get to know Mr. May, who I believe represents the best of the profession. The Governor William Paca chapter is honored to recognize James May as its 2022 Outstanding Teacher of American History.
Thank you very much.
Next, the Literacy Champion Award will be presented by State Literacy Promotion Chair Carolyn Raff. And also, I will let you know that when we introduce our honorees, we will also ask to have your friends and family stand up and be recognized, because we're going to get to know everyone in the room today.
The Literacy Champion Award recognizes individuals who make outstanding contributions by organizing or participating in community activities that promote literacy. The Governor William Paca chapter is pleased to present this award to Mario Nondola. Mario, please come forward. While he's I'd like to ask his mother, Keisha Nondolas, to stand and be recognized. Mario is an excellent John Carroll sophomore pursuing a fine arts diploma with distinction. His passions are art, basketball, and promoting literacy. A 2015 to 2019 board member of the We Can Serve movement, he chairs his Book and Buddies project, providing books and matching stuffed toys to help entertain children undergoing lengthy chemotherapy infusions. Mario's independent project, entitled The Great Book Purge, collected over 3,000 books at Fountain Green Elementary School and donated to more than a dozen local schools and organizations. In addition to We Can Serve libraries at CASA and the Department of Social Services, recipients included Bel Air United Methodist Church, the Boys and Girls Club of Edgewood, East Side Family Resource Center, Harford Community Action Agency, Harford Family House, Mountain Christian Church and its Abington Epicenters, and Trinity Lutheran School and Child Care Center and Mobile Pantry. Congratulations, Mario, on your work to improve literacy in our community.
Dr. Wallace, Chair of the Good Citizen Committee, will now present the DAR Good Citizen Medals and Scholarships.
Thank you, Angela. It is my privilege to introduce to you our 4 DAR Good Citizens for 2022. Each young person was selected by his or her school for having demonstrated the 4 qualities of a good citizen: dependability, service, leadership, and patriotism. Once chosen, each submitted a personal statement and was invited to compete for the chapter scholarships by writing a timed response to the 2022 National Essay Question. And I'm going to ask all 4 awardees to come up together. The 4 awardees are Jessica Dudak, Michaela Venio, Colin Moses, and Deanna Fairley. Deanna cannot be with us today. She is attending an all-state course event. As they come forward, with their family members, stand and be recognized. Jessica Dudak is the DAR Good Citizen from North Harford High School. A stellar student who is also active in her community, Jessica is to be congratulated for a record of accomplishment throughout her high school career. She plans to become a physical therapist and just told me today she will be attending Lebanon College. Michaela Venio is our 3rd place awardee and will receive a $250 scholarship. A senior at Harford Technical High School, she is a standout in the mechanical engineering program. I said mechanical engineering. And founded a girls' engineering program to introduce Aberdeen Middle School girls to engineering careers, where women are often underrepresented. Colin Moses is a senior at Aberdeen High School Science and Math Academy, where he's earned a 4.63 grade point average and performs with the marching band, concert band, and jazz band. Colin is also an Eagle Scout, whose project was to help maintain a fundraising event at the Kaufman Cancer Center. He will pursue a degree in quantum physics at my alma mater, University of Delaware, and one of his goals is to win a Nobel Prize, and I'm not counting that one out. Colin will receive a $250 scholarship. A $500 scholarship. Delaney Fairley is the recipient of this year's Governor William Paca Scholarship Award of $1,000. A senior at Falston High School, she ranked 17th in her class, never having earned a grade below an A. Also an accomplished singer and actor, she is a member of All County Chorus and the Trium Music Honor Society. She is president of Falston's Drama Company, has performed in numerous productions, and belongs to the International Thespian Society. Delaney's commitment to serving others informs her choice to pursue training as a mental health therapist. She is the founder of Falston High School's chapter of the Active Minds Mental Health Organization, which promotes mental health awareness in school and in the community, and works to erase the stigma surrounding mental health issues. Her commitment to serving others led to her selection as a member of the Harford County Student Mental Health Council. All 4 applicants were scored by a panel of 3 judges from outside DAR, with top honors going to the applicant with the highest combined score. Each receives the DAR Good Citizen Medal and certificate, and scholarships will be sent to each senior's chosen school. Since Delaney is performing with the all-county chorus today, we have a video of Delaney reading her essay. Notice that, and you can turn your attention to the screen over here, notice that each essay was written within a 2-hour time restriction in response to the following question, which was not disclosed to the candidate until they began writing. The question was, how do the qualities of a good citizen, dependability, service, leadership, and patriotism, help support our nation? Thank you, Carol.
Hi, my name is Delaney Fairley, and I'm a senior from Fallston High School. Today I'm going to be reading my essay, Our American Heritage and Our Responsibility for Preserving It. Citizens hold a nation together. Without responsible citizens who are dependable, patriotic, good leaders, and active participants in service, a nation would not be able to thrive. When told to describe a thriving nation, most people's mind go towards leaders and politicians rather than citizens. Many people have the misconception that politicians are the most important aspect of a thriving nation, when in reality, a nation wouldn't be able to thrive without outstanding and active citizens. Dependability is an extremely important quality for a citizen to uphold. Dependable citizens are trustworthy and reliable. Whether this has to do with supporting their country or in day-to-day life, dependable citizens always follow through with their word. Dependable citizens vote, advocate against injustices, and are active in their country's government. All members of a society can benefit from service, whether they're in the giving or receiving end. When a citizen participates in service, they are helping the lives of other citizens and are contributing to the country's success. America was founded on the idea of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and when a citizen completes an act of service for someone else, even something as simple as mowing a neighbor's lawn, they are improving that person's quality of life and pursuit of happiness. Excellent leaders are the members in society who motivate others to fight for a common cause. Even people who are the most passionate about a specific topic can often be afraid to lead a movement or be the first one to speak up. But thanks to citizens who are natural-born leaders, important improvements can be made. Leaders have been helping our country for decades. During the American Revolution, many leaders such as Samuel Adams protested Europe's unfair treatment of the colonists. He was an anti-slavery Sons of Liberty member and a leader in the taxation without representation movement. Thanks to him and other leaders of this movement, the colonists were able to successfully fight against unfair treatment, ultimately leading to America's independence. Patriotism is the true respect and pride towards one's country. It also involves understanding and educating oneself about a country's roots and origin. In America's case, it would not be a successful country without the support of immigrants from around the world. Ever since the founding of our nation, America has been a diverse country, supporting people from many different backgrounds. Many of our country's successes would not have been possible without immigrants. During the Civil Rights Movement, African American citizens protested the injustices that were occurring in the U.S. Without these brave individuals, America would still be a place of segregation and hate. Immigrants contributed to America's economic growth as well. During the Industrial Revolution, immigrants inspired industrialization, including the Irish and Eastern Europeans. Mexican immigrants are credited for the flourishment of the construction boom, and people of Chinese origin built the railroads that connected the Eastern and Western hemispheres for the first time. This allowed communication and economic support and opportunity to increase greatly. Patriotic citizens are educated about these topics and advocate for the rights of these minorities that contributed to America's successes. Outstanding citizens have been the foundation of America. Thanks to America's supportive citizens who exhibit these admirable qualities, America has been able to flourish and improve for many years. Thank you.
I congratulate each of you on your award. Today, you join a long line of DAR Good Citizens, dating back to its inception of the award in 1934. Always remember that it recognizes the 4 critical qualities of all good citizens: dependability, service, leadership, and patriotism. May you continue to model those qualities in your future service.
I told you they're amazing. Great. Our next award will be presented by American History Chair Carol Powers. Carol? Thank you.
November 11th, 2021 marked the 100th anniversary of the dedication of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. The prompt for the 2021-2022 DAR American History Essay Contest asked students to imagine that they had lost a brother on the World War I battlefields of France, and then had been invited to witness the dedication of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier in Washington, D.C. Our chapter winner is Jurizi. I'd like to invite her to join us at the front. As she comes forward, I'd like to ask her father to stand and be recognized. Alice, as she is known by her friends and teachers, is in 6th grade at Paterson Mill Middle School. She moved from China with her family in 2019 at the age of 9. She spoke Mandarin, which is no small feat, but no English. Her teachers say that Alice has an incredible work ethic and desire to learn. She's inquisitive, intelligent, and well-spoken, and always willing to take chances and learn from her mistakes. They also describe her as one who makes friends easily and is compassionate. No doubt the latter quality helped her to imagine herself in the place of a bereaved young person during and after World War I. She wrote beautifully about the sorrow and loss and the reopening of those wounds on the day of the tomb's dedication. She also wrote about the pride in brothers and sons and in the country that was felt by the families in attendance on that day a century ago. I would like to congratulate Alice on her fine work and on being the Governor William Paca Chapter winner of the American History Essay Contest. Okay. In 2021, DAR established the Patriots of the American Revolution High School Essay Contest in preparation for the 250th anniversary of the nation's founding. Participating students were asked to select one figure from the Revolutionary War era and discuss that figure's contributions to the founding of the nation. The chapter was pleased to receive many entries for this new contest. Our winner for the 2021-2022 school year is Maritza Mercado. Maritza, please join us at the front. And as she comes up, we invite her grandparents who are joining us today to stand and be recognized. Maritza is a junior in the biomedical program at Bel Air High School and is a student in Advanced Placement U.S. History taught by Mr. Jonathan Andrews, a former chapter winner of the Outstanding Teacher of American History Award. She is an honor student involved in volunteer projects including, but certainly not limited to, Best Buddies, which helps students with special needs navigate high school. She is also an advisor for Voices of Equity, which is active with Heritage Months, Black History Month, and celebrating women's history. Maritza's essay about George Washington was well-researched from primary sources and showcased her knowledge of the time period. I would like to congratulate Maritza Mercado for being the Governor William Paca Chapter's first winner of the Patriots of the American Revolution Essay Contest. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to say? Okay. Now I'm changing. The Women in American History Award shines a light on the roles of women, past and present, who are intellectual, educational, social, religious, political, scientific, or cultural innovators. The Governor William Paca Chapter is proud to tell the story of two such women. Carol Dybel has made preservation of Harford County's history the work of her lifetime. I invite her to come forward, and as she does, ask that her family and friends please stand and be recognized. As the town of Bel Air's longest-serving director of planning from 1984 to 2010, Ms. Dybel helped implement the following: creation of the Historic District and Historic District Commission and the Bel Air Arts and Entertainment District, preservation of Rockfield Park as an event venue and construction of the playground and gardens, purchase and renovation of the Bel Air Armory, streetscape improvements to Main Street, Office Street, and Bond Street, and development and implementation of tree protection and flood prevention programs. Carol is the author of Bel Air Chronicles and co-author with Kathy Santora of Legendary Locals of Bel Air, both about the history of the county. She has been dedicated volunteer and member of the board of the Historical Society of Harford County since 1988 and currently oversees Harford 250, a series of events celebrating the county's 250th anniversary. She currently chairs the Harford County Historic Preservation Commission, where she served for 2 decades. During her tenure, the county achieved certified local government status through the Maryland Historic Trust and adopted the first set of historic preservation guidelines using the MHT grant. By collecting and sharing local stories and preserving buildings and landmarks, Carol Dybel personifies the DAR's missions of historic preservation and education. We congratulate her as our first Women in American History Award nominee, or honoree. Dr. Phyllis Cohen followed her dream to become a doctor when women with families were not encouraged to do so. A general practitioner, she cared for her Harford and Baltimore County patients from nursery to nursing home. Phyllis Cohen was born in Baltimore, graduated from Roland Park Country School, and received her bachelor's degree in mathematics from Goucher College, Phi Beta Kappa. She married Keats A. Pullen Jr., an electrical engineer at APG, and started a family in the 1772 Miller's House at Jerusalem Mill. But once her first 3 children were in school, she found domestic life boring. She tried painting classes, but found the study of medicine much more interesting. After returning to Goucher College for the required prerequisites, she applied to Johns Hopkins, which denied her application because they felt it was impossible with 3 children. Not to be defeated, Mrs. Pullen applied to the University of Maryland. She and the one other female applicant were interviewed by all 5 doctors on the committee. Both were admitted. Dr. Pullen graduated with her MD at age 35 and did her internship and residency at the University of Maryland Medical Center. Dr. Pullen established her practice at home so that she could care for both patients and family and had 2 more children. She retired in 2008 at the age of 85 and lived to be 95, contributing so much to our community as a physician who pioneered caring for patients while raising a family, modeling doing it all in the best sense, with joy. It is an honor to recognize her legacy with this award. Thank you.
So we will be presenting the award to members of Mrs. Pullen, or Dr. Pullen's family later this month. Thank you. Next, our National Defense Chair, Susan Gray, will present the Youth Citizenship Medals, and the Outstanding Cadet Medals.
Good morning, everybody. The Governor William Paca chapter presents the DAR Youth Citizenship Medal to the 8th grader students who, in the opinion of school faculty, best demonstrates quality of good citizenship, honor, service, courage, leadership, and patriotism. The 4 awardees are Michaela Blackburn, Josephine Ferreira, Hannah Harley, and Evan Odelworld. With our 4 attendees, please join me up in front. Evan couldn't be with us today. Bel Air Middle School chose Michaela Blackburn to receive the Youth Citizenship Medal, writing that Michaela demonstrates the quality of good citizenship in the way she speaks and by taking a stand for what is right, even if others choose what is popular. She takes the lead in small groups to make them inclusive and recognized by teachers and peers as a positive, honorable young woman. Michaela is a member of the Superintendent's Super Student Advisory Council. She is active in Voices of Equity, Positive Behavior Interventions and Supports, and was recently elected president of the National Junior Honor Society. She performs in the school musical and chorus, and is part of the team that makes daily morning announcements at Bel Air Middle School. Outside of school, Michaela has earned the Girl Scout Bronze Medal Award and is currently working on the Silver Award. On each anniversary on 9/11, Michaela honors the victims by helping placing flags on the grounds of Bel Air High School. She exemplifies the qualities of good citizenship, and we are proud that she has received this honor. Next is Fallston Middle School chose Josephine Cruz Ferreira, writing that she exemplifies as a true leader. Joey goes above and beyond to assist new students to acclimate and feel welcome. She notices those who may be struggling, checking in multiple times each day to see if they need any help. She shows compassion and does not ask for attention. She models leadership qualities and others follow. Joey understands and can relate to the impact that a military have on our country. Recently, she shared with the school her family's military story, and her compassion for the sacrifices of these families demonstrate how grateful she is to have family who have served, and her empathy for those who have lost loved ones who were serving. The passion Joey shows in her daily work ethic and in her kindness and compassion is remarkable during these difficult times. It has been a pleasure to know Joey, and she is an excellent choice for the DAR Youth Citizenship Award. Next, from Paterson Middle School is Hannah Harley, writing that while searching for a way to summarize her citizenship qualities, a quote from Jack Benny comes to mind. "I don't deserve the award, but I have arthritis, and I don't deserve that either." This seemed perfect for Hannah. Even though she is a member of the National Junior Honor Society and had already far surpassed her minimum volunteer hours as required, she goes out of her way to help teachers whenever asked. She is a leader at Mountain Christian's Preschool every Sunday and volunteers with the United Way to assemble Mission Possible community service kits. Despite all this and helping others, and I imagine Hannah was shocked to hear that she was receiving this honor. Unfortunately, the second half of the quote is also appropriate for Hannah. She has achieved all this while battling juvenile, rheumatoid, and psoriatic arthritis, a painful fight requiring many trips to the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia for intensive treatments. yet she accomplishes everything with grace and charm that most adults would love to possess. So when Hannah reacts with shock at her nomination, and she did, anyone knows her would point out that her determination to live her life and her community without exceptions for her condition, make her the best possible candidate for this award. Southampton Middle School chose Evan Oldelwerdle, writing that he arrives to class each day to study and with true passion for knowledge, especially U.S. history. He's inquisitive and engaged, asking mature and thoughtful questions. His insights are often a catalyst for deeper discussions on the day's topics. Evan is a classroom leader who is generous with effort and time in group projects and stands out with interactions with students of varying abilities and personalities. As president of the Student Government Association, he is careful to make SGA representatives feel of equal value in decisions, listening to the opinions of all members before calling a vote. His heart for service was evident in the Treats for Troops drive that collected a record amount of candy for deployed troops and veterans. Evan is a true leader and asset to Southampton Middle School and the community it serves. We congratulate Youth Citizenship awardees and challenge them to continue modeling the qualities of honor, service, courage, leadership, and patriotism. Thank you all. Next, the DAR Outstanding Cadet Silver Medal recognizes cadets that have distinguished themselves through outstanding leadership, honor, service, courage, and patriotism. Recipients are recommended to the local DAR chapter by the unit commanders. The Governor William Paca chapter is pleased to recognize 2 cadets today. The first is Cadet Andrew Higgins of the Harford Composite Squadron Civil Air Patrol. Andrew, would you please join us up front? And as he comes forward, may we invite his family and friends to stand and be recognized. Here is what his unit commander wrote in his award recommendation. Cadet Higgins joined the program on June 20th, 2018. He moved rapidly through the ranks, serving as the Bravo Flight Commander for all of 2021. He was promoted to Cadet Major on January 6th of 2022. Since 2019, Cadet Higgins has worked diligently in the background to help the commander, deputy commanders with the program. He serves as a cadre at wing events and backfilled vacant cadet roles. Since December 2020, he has the highest grade in the Harford program. He frequently follows up with cadets who are struggling. He helps with study and testing for their next grade, and frequently rides as a backseat cadet for their orientation rides. He doesn't turn away cadets in needs, even if they're not in his flight, and this selflessness makes him most deserving of the award. The fact that he is a bit younger than the other cadets doesn't stop him. If anything, he uses it as a tool to guide him. He came into the program with no interest in aerospace. Now he looks forward to getting his private pilot's license as soon as he turns 16. We look forward to seeing him progress through the program and continue to strive for success. Cadet Higgins brings great honor upon himself and his squadron, upholding the Civil Air Patrol's cadet core values, adhering to the cadet oath, and always cheerfully obeying the orders of his officers. He is dedicated to future service to his community and country. A modern-day young patriot who aspires to be a medical doctor. Congratulations, Andrew.
Let's do that again.
The second Silver DAR Outstanding Medal goes to Young Marine Lance Corporal Aubry Burkhardt. Aubry, would you please join us up front? And as she comes forward, may we invite her family and friends stand and be recognized. Here's what the unit commander of the Jarrettsville Young Marines wrote in her award recommendation. Aubry Burkhardt has shown excellent leadership and initiative over the last year. She's an integral part to planning and training. She is the first to volunteer for any assignment and is involved in all of our activities. She has served as a squadron leader for her unit. She graduated from her recruiting training as an honor graduate and has continued to excel. She takes the initiative to stay and get her guidebook signed off and works on her next promotion. She has been promoted to Lance Corporal and takes leadership roles seriously. She performs her duty with distinction. I have known Young Marine Lance Corporal Burkhardt since she joined the Young Marines. She is very polite and a responsible young woman. Family is very important to her. In the past, she has grown personally as part of the Young Marines. She has shown determination and drive to achieve her goals. In my 19 years with the Young Marines, I have seen many young people, but it's rare to find like Young Marine Lance Corporal Burkhardt. She is truly what the program tries to achieve, a leader for other youth to look up and follow. Congratulations, Aubry.
I hope you both noticed that both Cadet Aubry Burkhardt and Cadet Andrew Higgins participated in our color guard this morning with the Sons of the American Revolution. So thank you for doing that. I'd like to invite Emily Andrews up for our next set of awards.
The DAR Community Service Award is given annually to recognize outstanding voluntary community service of individuals and organizations through heroic, civic, or benevolent service, or by organizing or participating in community activities. Deputy Colleen Mitchell of the Harford County Sheriff's Office is our first recipient of this year's award, in recognition of efforts above and beyond the requirements of his position as a school resource officer currently assigned to Paterson Mill High School. At this time, I'd like to ask Deputy Mitchell to come forward, and as he does, will his family and friends please stand and be recognized. Deputy Mitchell amply demonstrated heroic action when he rescued an autistic student who had run away from school and fallen in a pond, a selfless act for which he was nominated for Officer of the Year. He has often been recognized for his kindness, resourcefulness, and service, yet is very humble, describing himself as simply all about the kids. Always looking for ways to help, he counseled a number of students and mentored a boy who later joined the Youth Academy. When that young man enlisted in the Marines, Deputy Mitchell collected and mailed letters from the boy's friends to help with the loneliness of being far from home. At a former school, Deputy Mitchell formed a criminal justice club known as START, teachers, students, and resource officers together, for students interested in law enforcement. The club met after school once a month to hear guest speakers on public safety topics, and the first year was so successful that the Sheriff's Office School Policing Unit now requires every high school SRO to operate as an after-school club for interested kids. Now fully grant-funded by the Harford County Office for Drug Control Policy, the clubs have been in operation for several years, with hundreds of participants from all over the county. While assigned to Joppatown High School, Deputy Mitchell volunteered to conduct the Sheriff's Office Good Citizen Contest. Students whose names were drawn competed in basket shooting to win bikes, and those who didn't answered citizenship questions for a second choice at a bike. Deputy Mitchell began by purchasing bikes from Walmart to present during halftime at basketball games, but as it caught on, bikes were donated and given to special needs students, along with smart tablets and gift cards to supplement the bikes he purchased. Staff members consider Deputy Mitchell a likable person who in turn likes students and is someone with whom the students are comfortable. He is described as someone who acts out of the kindness of his heart, even buying prom and homecoming tickets for students who are unable to pay. The chapter is proud to recognize Deputy Colin Mitchell with the DAR Community Service Award. Our second awardee is Nancy Costaldo, a Harford County volunteer with a long record of community service, ranging from recreation and athletics to science and technology. Please join me in the front, and as she does, we invite her family and friends to stand and be recognized. Since its 1996 construction, Nancy has chaired the Rockfield Creative Playground for Bel Air Recreation Committee, preparing its annual budget and assisting teams of contractors and volunteers in maintenance and repair of the grounds and equipment. The site manager notes that as a direct result of her efforts, Rockfield is the best maintained 25-year-old playground he's ever seen. Since 2016, she has also chaired the Silver Eagle Cloggers of the Bel Air Recreation Committee, preparing the annual budget and maintaining the equipment inventory and the 30-foot trailer that supports the group's performances at community events like the Christmas Parade and the Bel Air Festival of the Arts. Each winter, Nancy coaches an adult basketball team for Harford County Special Olympics, a role that requires her to complete a certain amount of training each year. In 2018, her team competed at the USA Games in Seattle, Washington, which she described as an awesome experience. Her team was again selected for the USA Games in Orlando, Florida in June 2022, and the team is actively fundraising for this trip. Since 2014, Nancy has also served the Harford County Special Olympics as head softball coach, responsible for assessing performance and managing practices for her adult players, in addition to coaching a team that participates in regional and state tournaments. Turning from athletics to technology, Nancy leverages her skills as a mechanical engineer and career engineering supervisor at APG's Aberdeen Test Center to judge the annual e-cyber mission contest, in which teams of students in grades 6 through 9 submit competition folders documenting scientific projects and the results of their research and experiments. She has been a judge and a judge advisor for the annual Lego League competition at Aberdeen Proving Ground, in which teams of students aged 9 to 14 participate in a Lego competition sponsored by the U.S. Army's Test and Evaluation Command. The Governor William Paca chapter is proud to recognize Nancy Costaldo with the Community Service Award.
Now, Elizabeth Ann Smith will now present the Women in Arts Recognition Award and the DAR Conservation Medal.
The Women in the Arts Award recognizes women at the community level for outstanding achievements in the non-performance arts. The recipient is expected to have made outstanding contributions beyond mastery of technique. As chair of Governor William Paca's chapter's American Heritage Committee, I'm proud to present this year's Women in the Arts Award to Pamela Wilde. Pam, will you please join me at the front? I enjoyed hearing Pam's relate her journey from advertising design and illustration to painting and portraiture. She pursued continuing education at Maryland Institute College of Art, 1993 to 95, and completed a mentorship with Judith Simons, MFA, and professional study with artist Rose Franzen and with Portrait Society of America President Michael Shane Neal. A representational artist working from direct observation and reference, Pam now focuses on fine art portraiture, studio, and plein air paintings. Working from her home studio in Harford County, she strives to create paintings that not only capture the essence of the moment, but also reflect her personal joy. Pam is recognized as a juried artist in exhibitions and plein air events locally and statewide. We invite you to enjoy 3 of her paintings on display today. First Friday, inspired by a June 2021 evening in Havre de Grace. Farewell to Heroes, depicting the 2016 funeral procession for Harford County Sheriff's Deputies Daly and Logston. And Lydia, a 2014 portrait of her infant daughter. Covering Pam's 2019 Portraits from Havre de Grace exhibit for Havre de Grace magazine, the editor, Ellie Menser, wrote, "Community art projects are a bridge, with artists being the connectors. When scores of ordinary community members take part in an artist's dream, everyone gains new insight, wisdom, and relationships." Pam also engaged the community during the pandemic with Epic Eyes, an exhibit installed at the Maryland Federation of the Arts in Annapolis. It was inspired by the experience of navigating social clues with only what eyes reveal, something we all struggled with while living in face masks. Pam, please accept our congratulations. The NSDAR Conservation Medal is awarded to an individual or business with a distinguished conservation record who has shown sustained efforts to improve the environment or educate the public on conservation issues. On behalf of the Governor William Paca chapter, I'm proud to present this year's Conservation Medal to Otter Point Creek Alliance, the Friends of volunteer group for the Anita C. Light Estuary Center. Created in 1996, the nonprofit alliance is dedicated to supporting the research, education, and conservation goals of Otter Point Creek, component of the Chesapeake Bay Natural Estuarian Research Reserve in Maryland. Located on the shore of Otter Point Creek, the Anita C. Light Estuary Center is open to the public 7 days a week, year-round, offering opportunities to explore and learn about the Chesapeake Bay through affordable, family-friendly, fun and education events, including a nature discovery area and an exhibit hall with live animals. The Alliance is a mighty group of dedicated volunteers that enhances opportunities at the center, promoting environmental awareness, sustainability, and greater understanding and appreciation of the local estuary environment. The Alliance accomplishes its goals through community outreach, school and public programming, research and monitoring, stewardship and training. Volunteers donate over 3,000 hours annually, sharing knowledge, skills, and enthusiasm. I'd like to invite President Kathy Baker-Brosh to come forward to accept the award. And would other members and friends of the OPCA please stand? I look forward to promoting the service opportunities to members of our Governor William Paca chapter. And as its conservation chair, I congratulate you on receiving the award. Dr. Wallace will now present the Excellence in Historic Preservation Award.
Thank you, Lizanne. The Excellence in Historic Preservation Medal and Certificate is a new DAR award established to honor individuals or groups that have saved and or preserved their local history, including restoration of buildings. The Governor William Paca chapter has chosen to present its first ever Excellence in Historic Preservation Medal to County Executive Barry Glassman and Harford County personnel who have made it a priority to preserve buildings that shed light on the county's past. One such effort was the preservation of the Gorsuch Jousting House. Built around 1730 and named for two of its former owners, the former farmhouse may be the oldest existing house in Harford County. Over 280 years, it was renovated into a succession of family homes and finally as the clubhouse and pro shop for the Winners Run Golf Club. When the club announced demolition plans in 2014, Mr. Glassman negotiated dismantling, storage, and reassembly of the house on Conowingo Road in Dublin, where it welcomes visitors to the county's new agricultural center and houses displays featuring Harford County life. With historic preservation a central theme of his administration, Mr. Glassman most recently preserved what is believed to be the only freestanding root cellar in Harford County. Before refrigeration, families stored fruits and vegetables in cool, dark root cellars that were typically located beneath family homes. A few, however, were freestanding, including one built more than 240 years ago for Aquila Scott, whose property, Scott's Oldfields, became the town of Bel Air. At the dedication of the root cellar, County Executive Glassman said, "As a native son of Harford County, I lean toward preserving structures like this because once they go, they are gone forever. This is the heart of historic preservation." We will present the award personally to Mr. Glassman next month. I'd now like to introduce Jacob Benson, who will acknowledge the award on Mr. Glassman's behalf. Jacob?
And Historic Preservation Chair Emily Andrews will present our final two awards.
Historic preservation is one of the three cornerstones of DAR's mission, and the Governor William Paca chapter has secured approval of the DAR Historic Preservation Recognition Award for the Historical Society of Harford County. Representing the Harford Historical Society, I would like to ask Mr. William Walden to come forward and ask Mrs. Walden and anyone associated with the Historical Society to please stand and be recognized. Since 1994, the Society has been headquartered in the old Bel Air Post Office on Main Street, consolidating within these walls a vast collection of artifacts, photos, books, manuscripts, court records, newspapers, textiles, family histories, and donated items that are carefully preserved by dedicated volunteers. The condition of the building itself has been problematic. Original architectural features were hidden or destroyed during previous post office renovations, and the original lobby and the postmaster's office had sustained significant damage. After more than 5 years of fundraising, the work began with restoration of 26 wooden windows before the building closed to complete renovations. After 2 years of managing its programs online, the Society will soon welcome visitors again through a new lobby museum with permanent and rotating exhibits. In approving the application for the DAR Vice Chair for Historic Preservation, Sally Paterson, noted, quote, "Restoration of the 1930s era post office to its original facade and entrance is a gift that will last several decades. Repurposing the original building as a home for the Historical Society, developing the museum to teach the history of the town and surrounding area, and especially the ability to better organize the documents and historical items that will serve to educate both children and adults in the county's rich heritage." She continues, "The Society's website is one of the best I've seen in my almost 3 years in this position, so the care of the legacy of the town is in great hands," end quote. The Society deserves recognition for its efforts to protect, preserve, and share the county's history. Our final and most prestigious award is the DAR Historic Preservation Medal. It honors an individual whose volunteer service, promotion, and dedication to historic preservation has made a distinguished contribution to the national, regional, or state level for many years. This medal, awarded not by chapter, but by the National Society, is the highest honor that DAR bestows in historic preservation, and the most rigorous in requirements for demonstrating the significance and import of the honoree's work. Thus, it is awarded to only a select few individuals from across the nation at any given year. I am proud to announce that Harford County and Constant Bimes is one of this year's recipients of this national award, in honor of a lifetime of contributions that were headlined by 4 projects in our region covering 4 distinct dimensions of historic preservation. I'd like to invite Mrs. Bimes to come forward, and as she does, will her family and friends please stand and be recognized. Mrs. Bimes preserved a local landmark while serving on the board of directors for Girl Scouts of Central Maryland, securing funding for restoration of historic Bell Manor at the Girl Scout camp near Susquehanna River in Cecil County. Returned to its original mid-19th century appearance, Bell Manor is now a meeting and conference center. She also restored objects of historic and cultural significance. For nearly 50 years, she and her husband have been stewards of their early 19th century Darlington home, Swallowfield, a documented stop on the Underground Railroad. She restored and hosted tours of the property's ice house, which served as a hiding place for persons escaping slavery. Mrs. Bimes undertook youth leadership in historic preservation by serving for a decade on the board of directors of Darlington's Hosanna School, where Black students studied from 1867 to 1965. She worked with local historian and African-American educator Christine Tolbert to restore the building as a museum, where local school and community groups could learn about the education of Black Americans and about life in a one-room schoolhouse that was the center of the community for nearly a century. Finally, she established a historic district and participated in long-term oral history projects. Perhaps the most significant of Mrs. Bimes' varied accomplishments was preservation of the northern Harford County community of Berkeley and securing its listing on the National Register of Historic Places. Serving as a director of the Berkeley Crossroads Historic Preservation Project, she led the 5-year effort to document that community's history, including African American land ownership in the 18th and 19th centuries. She recorded oral histories of the community's black and white residents and co-authored with Christine Tolbert the book, A Journey Through Berkeley, Maryland, published by Gateway Press in 2005 and available at Harford County Public Library. Mrs. Bimes served 2 terms in the Harford County Historic Preservation Commission and was inducted into the Maryland Women's Hall of Fame in 1998. In recognition of a lifetime of contributions to preservation of our county's historic buildings and her efforts to educate the public about these places, the Governor William Paca Chapter, Maryland Society, Daughters of the American Revolution, is proud to present to Constance Bimes the prestigious DAR Historic Preservation Medal.
Thank you, Emily. Could we have another round of applause for our honorees today? Congratulations to all of you. It has been our privilege as a chapter to shine a light on your accomplishments. After the ceremony, I'd like to ask all of our honorees to come to the front of the room. We'd like to have a class photo with all of you, okay? And again, the photos that are taken today, we will be emailing you a link. We'd love to share those with you after this event. A recording of today's program will be available on Harford TV beginning in June, so please check their website, harfordtv.org, for their schedule. And on behalf of the Governor William Paca Chapter, we thank you all for celebrating with us today. I hope that you will take a minute after this celebration and maybe introduce yourself to someone else. We all know each other now, so thank you so much for coming. I'm going to invite Elizabeth Smith to come forward to read our benediction.
I invite you to pray in your tradition as I pray in mine. Our Heavenly Father, who has taught that you will require much from those to whom much is given, grant that we whom you have called to so goodly a heritage may extend more abundantly to others what we so richly enjoy. And in our stewardship may we know the glory of your love. We praise you as we take our departure. Amen.